Hello, my name is Mark Heatherly, and I wanted to try something a little different here in sharing and fellowshipping with fellow Facebook friends. I'm going to simply read something that I just wrote and hope that it will be a blessing. Okay, this has to do with denying ourselves. I have died 1,000 deaths. How sad it is that the church as a whole has much trouble and difficulty with such a word. Herein I do not speak of the sorrow of the world, but of the suffering of the soul towards the release of the spirit. How much fruit the church would realize if only it would acquire the attitude of dying to self and the world, as opposed to the general attitude of living life to the full and seeking the desires of your carnal, dead heart to the full. For these keep alive that which must die, so that the seed of life may grow and flourish. No one may circumvent the spiritual laws of seed, time, and harvest, along with the sowing to either the spirit or the flesh via the heart's desires. Was it for no purpose that Jesus said, "Anyone who wishes to come after me must deny himself"? The problem with this word is that no one can see himself. That is, no one can see what it is of himself that must be denied until he has been dealt with many times in life in order to facilitate the dying to self, that he may begin to see and to live. This is a process wherein the light begins to shine as the morning star arises in your hearts unto the full day. No one is born again unto this full day. No one is born as a mature adult, but as an infant in spirit. One has to grow and develop in a proper way in order to reach healthy adulthood, becoming a spiritual man, as opposed to merely a soulish man as with all the world. It is a very difficult thing to divide between the spirit and the soul, and no one may know except through the powerful work of the living word in their lives, and that according to how the person may facilitate this word into their daily lives in denying himself for the sowing to the spirit. Hebrews 4:12. For the word of God is living and active, and sharper than any two-edged sword, and piercing as far as the division of soul and spirit, of both joints and marrow, and able to judge the thoughts and intents of the heart. This word is not speaking merely nor casually of something God can do, but rather it speaks of what God must do through our cooperation in order that we might enter the rest of God for the walk in spirit, becoming spiritual men. Hebrews 4:9. So there remains a Sabbath rest for the people of God. For the one who has entered his rest has himself also rested from his works, as God did from his. Therefore let us be diligent to enter that rest, so that no one will fall through following the same example of disobedience.